There's a number of threads here and a number of areas that I want to ask you on, and if you'll humour me, I will start with the leaked letter. You and I have both seen redacted versions of it, but it's from a former civil servant. It echoes some of the criticisms in the HMIC reports about how Home Affairs have been conducting themselves. So first, I suppose, your reaction to that letter?
Well, my reaction to that letter is very much a case of, well, if Home Affairs were ambushing and summoning people, that's never happened. We've never summoned anybody. Everybody's got the right to attend a meeting or not. However, we ask people to come that have got the knowledge and experience of that. And if you're right at the very top of the tree, and we ask you to come in to justify what is being said, that may be uncomfortable for some, but that's what they're paid to do, as the top of that role. So equally, and more importantly for me, there's never been a code of conduct against Home Affairs. So if this staff member felt so aggrieved, where were they?
So when that staff member says, in their view, Home Affairs is out of control or potentially out of control, yeah, you don't agree?
No, I don't agree at all. And we were reacting to complaints that have been sent to us and criticism that have been sent to us, and went through the right procedures for that. So as far as I'm concerned, don't be spineless, say who you are, I know who it is, say who you are, put your name to it. Why didn't you actually put in a code of conduct at the time, and wait till you've actually left and then be on the front of the press?
What the letter says about things like ambushing, there are references to similar kind of behaviour in the HMIC reports, where the head of law enforcement is called in to deal with complaints from a particular member of the public. I mean, isn't that ambushing?
Absolutely not, and in fact that the head of law enforcement was not called in to face a member of the public who'd complained. There's a complaints procedure for that, and that member of the public who was asked to put in a formal complaint refused to do so, but wanted to pass on the criticism as they felt it would be constructive. So the head of law enforcement was actually invited with staff from border agency to attend to hear what the gentleman had to say. That wasn't a complaint at all, and so therefore nobody was forced to come and declined to actually sit around the table for that. So that's their prerogative to do so. And the gentleman concerned was extremely grateful that Home Affairs had taken the time to listen to the ideas that they put forward, and went away a very happy man.
Do you think the HMIC reports, is it being misinterpreted by some of your colleagues, or is the report itself unfair? I mean, are you disputing the findings of the reports?
I'm very satisfied with the report. It makes it very clear at the beginning that we have a very good law enforcement that serves the bailiwick very well. I read that out in my statement this morning. And equally, the Matt Parr from HMIC made it very clear on air to the media that actually there had been no political interference at all by Home Affairs Committee. We were doing our job. So put those two together, I'm fine. We support the 8 recommendations, I'm fine with that too. There are bits in the middle which there are some sort of wanting to make more of. Do you know what, if I'd wanted an absolute perfect report, I would have written it. I wouldn't be spending £75,000 to go out and say, have a look at it. I would have written a real fluffy, jargony one, and that's not what we wanted. We wanted somebody independent to come in and say, have a look at it. And after 10 years, because there hasn't been one for 10 years, it's right and proper that they've picked up things. That's absolutely right. That's what we wanted it for. So I have no problem with the report per se, that it's come forward with recommendations which we support.
If you accept the report, though, it does point to a lack of setting objectives for law enforcement, to the point that law enforcement had to do it for themselves, and really it's a job for politicians. No medium-term financial planning, which politicians were supposed to have done, and it does point to dealing with low-level issues like parking tickets and bicycle lights.
Sure.
So those are legitimate criticisms from the report that you therefore do have to accept, warts and all.
Right, but it's taken out of context, and that's the point. Those things there, if you put them into the full context, are not a problem at all. Certainly there was a plan in place. The plan was in place from 2015 to 2018. It's still in place. We also had the P&R plan which superseded a lot of that, which I had to fit into place. All of Home Affairs, right across our mandate, are fully aware of the P&R plan. We've taken it to the States, and the States have supported us for the priorities. So again, because it's taken out of context and the full, there isn't a full detail in there about that. That's probably why it's been picked up with perhaps some of the media. But regarding flashing lights, yes, there was a question asked about, are they legal? When we've got somebody from law enforcement is in front of us for another matter under AOB, while you're here, by the way, we've got a query. Are flashing lights on bikes legal or not? there was talk of somebody having an epileptic fit, and so wanted to know if they were legal or not. With regarding the wing mirror, let's put that into perspective. We don't sit talking about wing mirrors. What we do sit down and talk about, when the police are asking for witnesses to a serious fatality and there's a wing mirror in the road and it hasn't been responded to, and they want to draw attention to that, that's far more serious than talking about a wing mirror hitting somebody else's wing mirror.
But it's
so
not
again,
talking about policy level,
out.
it's talking about a specific point in a specific investigation. That's not a policy level issue if it's one specific wing mirror.
Yeah, but, you know, put it into perspective. Stop trying to make something out of something that is nothing, really. We have all the time, it was said in there this morning, all the politicians right across committees, if a member of the public brings something to our attention, under AOB, or could somebody just go and have a look at that so we can actually answer that? That happens all the time. That's the real word of politics. And as Matt Parr said, we haven't interfered at all. And, you know, that's our job to do so. So it's not just probably there are some who would like to make more of it, including some of the media. I'm sorry, it's a non-story. It really is a non-story.
Well, it brings me to today. This lunchtime had a press release through from Home Affairs and Policy and Resources talking about some measures agreed by both committees to move forward.
Yep.
One of them is for independent expert support to help the Home Affairs Committee in areas of governance and strategy.
Yeah.
If there's nothing to be worried about in this report, why would the committee need special independent support for those issues?
Because we just haven't got the resources. And what we actually said to P&R, who have been really helpful, and they said, look, we can help you. Because some of those things, as we know, we haven't got the resources to do it, both financial resource and indeed the bodies to be able to help us to do that. And they have been really helpful, and that's why the Oversight Board has been really good working together as well, because they've been able to give us people that we can actually, you know, wing in and help us and do that. And that's exactly the same thing for this year. They've said we can help you on that, so that's absolutely great. We need that because we haven't got the people to be able to do it for us. So now it's working together. It isn't an issue. It really is government working together, not silo. You know, we are actually working together. When we're working together, we get criticism. You can't win with some. It's a no-win situation. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm extremely comfortable. Our committee are extremely comfortable, and we've got P&R support as well. So, you know, it's up to the states members to just accept Home Affairs to get on with the job that we've been elected to do. This report is near enough a year old too. Has Guernsey ground to a standstill? No, it hasn't. We've carried on working exactly as we should do, getting on with what we all need to do under our mandate.